Hello, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge, I'm a Hill Empath, and I just like doing these little talks on the way I feel about things. And tonight, in co-host chair, we got Tut Duck. He's sawing logs over here. At least he's not annoyed with his brother. We all been fiery around here today. I think that's kind of a even keel. I think it's kind of just how things are now. People are just extra fiery. And it could be a good fiery or a bad fiery. Positive or negative. I was thinking about electricity and my olden days. I know my ohms. Why does it sound like he's getting louder? I think he has a deviated septum. He was puppy mill. I hate puppy mills. I hate breeders. It's gross. And they never should have been legal. So when a county or a state touts that they're banning puppy mills, well, F you for ever allowing them to begin with. They never should have been legal. They create animals with illnesses and more propensity for illnesses and deviated septums. He has a pigtail. It's like zigzag because the keeper of his mill slammed his tail in a gate, because they're bastards, man. They're freaking jerks. They don't care. They're just, all they see is piles of money. They don't see spirits in a puppy. People like that are just fucking evil. Just, there's no other word for it. Things that hurt animals and kids, evil. No other word for it. So, capacitors and resistors. I was thinking about my old age days on the flight line, playing with my multimeter. I need to buy another one. Anyway, because I need one for the big red truck. Big red truck has tricks. Sometimes the blinker goes to blink and it just stays on, and then I whack it down by where the fuses are, and then it, as I was. I love cars with tricks and whatnot. Gadgetries. Good boy, Artie Pants. Anyway, a capacitor, in case you don't know what a capacitor is, just in the shell of a nut, it's to filter out frequencies that you don't want. Basically, as I'm just going to put it as I understand it in layman's terms. A capacitor, it if you look at them on a computer, every now and again you'll see one that's burst, because it takes the amps. It takes them. And if it's too much, if there's a spike and it's too much, the capacitor will give, right? And then you have the resistor. Now the resistor, he's important. He plays just as big a role. Calm down. Take it easy. Easy now. It's it keeps electric current from flowing through. Okay, so it keeps the flow. It stops the flow from happening. It gets more in depth than that, but we're trying to keep it basic here. My point is, there are people that serve the same. If you look at personalities, you have capacitors, people that just, take in, taking so much they burst. And then you have resistors, people that resist, that just keep on course, keep the flow. You just gotta, no change, And of course, as explained time and time again in the time of now, everybody's talking about the great time. First we got Libra season, it's the time of balance, and then we got Scorpio season, which is the time of unveiling, Halloween and all that stuff. And things are getting good. I think it's important that people now start just looking at the positive. I mean, it's important to do this all the time, but sometimes stuff comes up in life, man. freaking that just ain't positive. And it seems like every time you turn around, it's like boom, people you know that are getting bombarded too. Not just negativity in your life, but people you care about. You're watching them and their loved ones. Just every time, boom, boom, boom. Everywhere you go, people are going through it. But the lesson in all that is, how are they getting through it? Dignity or grace? Or are they falling on their face? You know? So, man, it's hard to freaking when you think you know somebody, you think you know them. You're zigging along, and all of a sudden you think they're gonna zig, and they freaking zag. It changes people. That's why people get divorces. People get blindsided. It's because people's frequency change. Maybe in relationships there's a capacitor and a resistor. If there's everybody, we have it in all of us. We all have capacitors and resistance in all of us. It's all how. But it's the balance, and what are we doing to keep the balance? Because the energy ain't gonna get up. It ain't gonna give up. It ain't gonna get any less dense. It's just, stuff is just gonna be weird. But we've always, I think if you stop and think about it though, life has always been kind of, I don't know, to me it's always been kind of magical. It's always been seconds and inches. It's always been, my needs have always been met, And I've never been complete, and I've never been one of those that, like, I've been to churches and stuff, and like, I remember when I'd always looked for answers. I'm one of those, looking for answers. The bigger picture, and I got a pretty good idea of the bigger, broader picture, and more people are getting it, and that's cool, and I don't really freaking care who gives the message. As long as the message is getting out there, and the message is positive, that the freaking earth is our mother. And greedy, rich, gross, I don't care what country you are on. You have beat my mother with your weaponry and your greed for personal interest. You beat my mother, Earth, with your bombs and your atomic nonsense and your good old boy crap. And, there's, maybe in my 45 years, maybe met 3 true, authentic, good old boys. And they're the honest ones. They're not the shady ones. They're not the gross ones. They're not the creepy ones. And you guys, the majority of the sucky good old boys, made it real hard for the rest of them. And now I see these generation of these soft-hearted, tender boys, that they're not afraid to talk about their feelings and their emotions. Because you know what? They don't want to be like their example. All closed up, freaking drunk. Dude, alcohol takes your spirit. Booze takes your spirit. Blood alcohol count. I let it take my spirit for years. And it didn't even take me to places that it's taken a lot of people. But it took me to places that I said I'd never go. So I stopped saying never. And thank God that is something that, for one day at a time, it's not for me, I mean, have you ever seen somebody in a blackout? You can tell their spirit's gone, they're vacant. You can tell that you don't know what timeline they're on. You don't know what frequency they're on. And when you're freaking grow up around people that, sometimes people tune into a frequency of violence, or worse. Ruins lives. So whenever I see ads anywhere where people like embrace it, celebrate it, do it responsibly. Well, guess what? Some people like me, we don't know what that is. Because we just did it for oblivion. And a lot of other people do, and people, it's poison. It's straight up freaking poison. And it's legal. And finally, they're starting to legalize marijuana in 2019 when it has more medicinal benefits for more groups of people. Autistics like me. I got degenerative disc disease in my T9, 10, and 11. I've lost 1 3/4 inches in 2 years of height. I have migraines maybe 3 days a month. I don't have them. I'm constantly trying not to freaking have flashes and flares, because when people are in pain, they react. I mean, they're extra sensitive, so everybody's just annoying right off the bat, you know. But CBD, I'm not even talking THC. I'm talking CBD, the medicinal aspect of it, the pain relieving part of it. It's in a cookie. SDK cookies are my favorite. Here in Oregon. They're like $5-6. And they help older people that are anxious all the time, that just, you know, are constantly stressed out about one thing or another, you know. SDK cookies. They have snickerdoodle and chocolate chip, you know. So autistic kids benefit from them. People with seizures, Parkinson's, freaking stomach issues, freaking all the cancer patient. I mean, it's just, but all the fat, gross dudes had to get rich first, and then they got old, and then all of us, you know, coming uppers are like, wait a minute, you lied, and you were greedy. And if I just got a picture in my head, but I'm not going to say it because I'm live and I got a filter today. But no more, you know. And I hope to God it's not too late for freaking my Sabrinas, you know. That we didn't, you know, and the sensitive kids that are coming up, that are being born, everybody's more and more sensitive, you know. So freaking all this pop from, you know, all these guns and these made up war conflicts for profits and all this stuff, it ain't gonna go on in their world, because they don't care. They just want to freaking, you know, play video games and hang out with their friends, you know, and hopefully try, you know, once they find their spirit again, you know, learn how to meditate and things like that, really start figuring out who they are and what they can contribute to themselves, and how wonderful that they really are. The youth is just going to keep freaking shorting out, becoming disinterested. So I have a lot of fun ideas on how to get them interested again, and, you know, I don't know. I think it's just really important people just situate on the positive right now, because today, man, the energy is just too freaking. And then I have a Benny who tracks in freaking nasty stuff onto the bed. So yeah, at least he didn't do it at bedtime. Anyway, you know, you just I just try not to get too mad, you know. I'm not like freaking, you know, when I get mad, I flash and I freaking, ah! And then I quickly come down, because, you know what, the first part of my life, I was so angry, I was so mad, I can't afford it. I got too much fun stuff to look forward to. There's too much good stuff to look forward to, and I don't have the energy to waste anymore being angry, man. So I'll leave that luxury to someone else at this point. I think I'm gonna do some stretches and settle in and watch something. I don't know. There's stuff hard to. There ain't really a whole lot going on these days. You know what I mean? On the TV or on the interwebs and streaming. It's so funny. All these big companies, they're all separated. They're all picking up their toys, packing up their toys, and going home. They're all taking up their movies. You notice all the movies that are leaving Netflix. All the turnover. That's what's happening. There's a great turnover on the whole planet Earth, and there's a turnover. It's happening with each and every one of us in our local, in our home. I'm ready to turn over back out down to Cali, Born-IA. Heading back to Redden. Huh. And then it's happening in the collective. It spreads out, It's happening in nations, countries, And don't believe for a second that was the first kid that got shot in Hong Kong with the live ammo. Not for 1 second. I don't believe it anyway. God bless those kids, man. Man, they're like freaking 110, 120 pounds, and they're freaking going up against those guys because they want to be free. I don't know. And kids are so desensitized in freaking America that they're just, let's just kill things on freaking a video game. It's a big difference, but everybody's waking up in their own individual kind of way, so I think I'm still a little bit virtuous enough that I got a few patients left, so that's all I got. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.